What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today I am working on another video that has been asked a lot, so by popular demand, and that is installing our OEM tow hooks on our 2017 Plus bumper. So as you might know, I've had that bumper on my truck for a while now, and I installed it using my 2017 Plus bumper conversion brackets, and they work perfectly. You can mount the bumper, it looks amazing. And it's basically bolt-on, other than some cutting that you have to do to the actual frame. But I have been asked a lot if you can install the OEM tow hooks, and the answer's always been you can, but I wouldn't do it. And let me show you why. So these are your OEM tow hooks, and like I said, you can install them using my my conversion brackets. You just really couldn't tow with them because my conversion brackets are mounted only using two bolts on the frame. And as you can see on this thing, you have a whole bunch more. You have 8 mounting locations to the Super Duty. So I just really didn't think it was, like it would actually hold up if you actually ever pulled on it. So I made a new bracket that I'll show you in a second to mount it. The swap though does require a lot more cutting, because you have to basically cut off all of this metal on this bracket. But once you have that metal cut off, the swap is basically bolt-on, just like the bracket. In fact, the tow hooks actually sandwich between the bumper and the brackets. And like I said, I'll show you real quick. I'm actually gonna go ahead and take off that bumper so I can show you how they mount. Okay, so we have our bumper pulled off the truck, and these are our new brackets, which they look basically the same, other than they have this extra tab on the side that we are going to use to drill 2 more holes through the frame and install 2 more bolts. That should really help stiffen up this plate. So now, as far as the tow hook, this is kind of what I said that you got to cut. You got to cut all that extra metal that's kind of hanging back completely flush with this metal on both sides, and then cut off one of the legs because of the way that it mounts. As you can see, it kind of doesn't allow it to, well, it doesn't allow it at all. So you got to cut that one off. I did, however, leave one because you want at least all this weld still holding your tow hook. Now, I really wanted to try and use these other 2 bolting locations, but the problem with that is that on the frame, as you can see, it actually drops down immediately after that that first nut. So you can't really use it. And then this one is too far out to use it. So I do think, however, though, that with these 4 mounting locations for the bracket, I think it'll be more than strong enough. The OBS trucks as is are way lighter than the Super Duties, so I think we'll be good. Okay, so now I'm gonna get the other side cut up, welded, installed, throw the bumper on there with the tow hooks, and we'll be good. Okay guys, and we have both of them all welded out, and again, they're pretty decent welds. I'm pretty happy with them. They are welded on both sides, front and back, just to make sure that they're extra strong. But with that amount of weld, these brackets aren't going anywhere, I can assure you that. So I'm gonna go ahead, throw some paint on them while I get the other hook all cut up. Okay guys, so as you can see, I'm midway through my cut, and I realized that I should probably tell you what I'm doing. So on the first hook, I cut this piece with the grinder, the cutoff wheel on my grinder, this thing, and it cut it easily, perfectly. But for this other one, I thought that maybe I would give the bandsaw a go, and it's actually a much better way to cut it. So far, it's giving me a cleaner cut, but then again, we're still not done with this thing. So I'm gonna cut this thing completely and kind of show you what I ended up with. Although I am gonna tell you, I am gonna cut all the way up here, like I said, across this nut, and then I'm gonna go across down the tow hook like this, and then we'll go on the other side and cut this off to probably like around here, cut all that off. Okay guys, so we have this thing now completely cut, and always use your eye protection. I actually had my eyeglasses and a face shield. But anyways, we got this thing completely cut, and I don't know if you caught it from the time lapse, but using the bandsaw didn't turn out. I forgot that thing kind of gets. I forgot that the bandsaw can get caught at the end of the cut if you don't cut all the way through. Anyways, I ended up cutting out the cutoff wheel and then grinding everything clean with the grinder, 1/4 inch stone on it. And this is basically what you're gonna end up with. Like I said, you're looking to get this perfectly flat, so you're gonna cut off all those parts that are curved, you know, like all of this stuff. And then we went ahead and cut one of the legs off of the actual tow hooks. But one thing that I did make sure and do was to not cut off all of the weld on this side. You want to do your best to leave as much of that weld as you can on there, just because I think it'll give it that little bit of extra strength. Again, this side has a huge weld on it, so even if you can't leave any on there, I think it'll be fine. So this, as you can see, it kind of has that little like divot in there. That's actually to give it some clearance for one of the bolts that goes from my bracket to the frame. So yeah, anyways, that's what you're looking for when you cut this thing. It is a little bit of a pain. It probably took me like maybe 10-20 minutes ish to get it all cut up and finished, but we are at a daylight right now. The brackets are still drying, so I'm gonna finish this in the morning, and then we'll basically be done. But I also actually have to go to the hardware store and get some grade 8 hardware, just because I want to be sure that it does have some better hardware on it. So anyways, like I said, I'll pick off in the morning. Okay guys, so we have both of our brackets in place. They're just snug, and I haven't done anything with these holes yet. And that is basically because I want to install the bumper with the tow hooks and make sure that I have it in place and I like it. And that's because I want to install the bumper and the tow hooks, everything in place, get it nice and level, and make sure that I like it before I go ahead and drill these 2 holes on the side of the frame. Like I said, just to make sure that everything works properly. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead, throw the bumper, throw the tow hooks on, get everything nice and level, get everything snug, and then once all that's good, I'll go ahead and mark these 2 holes, pull the bumper out, drill the holes, get everything nice and tight, and install everything for a final time. So yeah, also if you've seen my previous videos, and I've shown you how to kind of like install the bumper and level it, before I've told you to kind of use washers in between these 2 spots to kind of level the bumper up and down. I stopped doing that and I actually do it off of the frame. So right now, to start, this bolt has a washer in between the bracket and the frame, so that'll tilt the bumper up a little bit, and hopefully that'll get the bumper level, because before I had washers on these 2 bolts. Okay guys, I don't think you're ready for this. The bumper's on and I love the way it looks. Like, I don't know, it looks complete now basically. And sorry about the sun, it's like horrible out here, but that, man, it's just, it looks done. I don't even know what to say. I've been wanting to do that for the longest time, and they are finally on the truck now. As you can see, they're just loosely mounted with 2 bolts. Well, they're tight, but they only have 2 bolts on each side. And I do gotta say, I do have to add an extra washer to the top side of the bracket to bring this up on both sides. But I think once we do that, it'll be perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead, get the bumper back off, add the extra washer, mark the holes, drill them, and we should be good. Okay guys, so we have the brackets now completely installed, all bolted in, completely tight. We have the 2 bolts on the side of it, drilled, installed, tight. Same for these, everything's nice and tight on there. So there is a side to these, and you want to make sure they install them with the holes on the outside. They're a little bit offset, as you can see, and you want these to be higher on the outside. So the bolts to be higher on the bracket, just like they are here on the outside, and then the inside holes are going to be a little bit lower on the bracket. But other than that, we're looking great. Oh, I also did have to grind my frame just a little bit more so that it would clear. the bracket. So that is done now as well. So I'm gonna go ahead, throw the bumper on, get it all fitted up, nice and level, and we should be good. Before I install the bumper, check out the sway bar brackets that I made for the 05 Plus axles. They are looking great. And you can find them and the bumper brackets, the door reinforcement plates on my website, blowingdiesel.com. I'll leave a link to it down below, like always. But anyways, I'm gonna throw the bumper on and get this video done. Okay, one more thing that I've been forgetting to mention is the way that you wanna install the tow hooks. As you can see, they have kind of a curve to them. And this is basically the way that they're gonna install, with the curve, I guess, going up. Not like this, but like that, going up. Okay guys, this thing is done. And wow, it looks so good. I'm gonna show you right now. So there you have it. So it's a subtle improvement, you know, like it's a subtle thing, but it definitely makes this thing look finished. I am very happy that I finally did this. Again, they will be on the website, blowingdiesel.com. Go check it out, as well as the original brackets and a few other things. But man, I love the way it looks. The only thing that I still have to do and that I'm trying to find is these things take a little like bolt cover that goes like over the bolts. I definitely want to get that. I mean, I don't mind the look of the bolts. I think it actually looked really tough, but I'm going for the clean look. So I'm gonna find those covers that go right here, and I think that is really gonna finish off the look of this bumper. And I love the way that it turned out. Like, it is super solid, like solid, this whole thing. I am super happy with the way that it turned out. And now we have a fully functioning 2017 Plus bumper on this thing. We have the fog lights working, the tow hooks, the bumpers on there. I love the way that it looks. I guess the last thing we could try is putting the valence back on this thing, but that's gonna be for another day. But yeah, like, just look at the way that it turned out. Like, the gaps are pretty much perfect on it, on this whole thing, all the way around. I love it. One thing that I got asked the other day is about this gap. So I think it actually did get a little bit bigger with the tow hooks being on there, but not much, maybe an eighth if that. But you do get a little bit of a gap on here, which, to be honest with you, you can hardly even notice it. Like, I don't really notice it. Me personally, I love the way this bumper looks, and to me it's the best looking bumper on these OBSs. I love the 08 through 10 bumpers, and obviously I love the original bumpers. You know, you can't beat that. But I love the way that these 2017 Plus bumpers look on it, especially now that I have the tow hooks on it, that mine has the fog lights working. I love it, and I am super happy again with the way that it turned out. But like I said, check out my website, blowingdiesel.com. Also check out my Instagram. I now have an Instagram just for you guys. Like, I want you guys to send me pictures of your installs of your trucks. So anyway, send it to Blowing Diesel merch. And I would love to have you guys' truck on there. Also, before I forget, I want to sell my old brackets that I have on my truck. So these ones, they are perfectly fine. Obviously, they're the ones that I was using to mount the bumper. Just one of them has a pretty rough edge. That's why I ended up using that one on my truck. But I'm gonna sell them for 50% off to the first guy that gets there using code. Man, what code should we use? I'm just making this up right now. We'll just use 928 OBS. If you've been with the channel for a while, you know what that means. So anyways, go to the website, blowingdiesel.com, and get the regular bumper brackets, add them to your cart, use that code, and you'll get them for 50% off. But yeah, obviously there's only one pair of them, so only the first guy to get there will get the brackets. So anyways, thanks for watching. Give the video a like, leave me any comments, and don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.